I'm bored of that music. I'll say. Right, welcome tonight. If you're watching, this is a bit of a different stream, more serious than usual. I've got PCP Wales, Kimberly and Lucia. I believe I've got that right. Lucia. I said it would never go right. So we'll start as me and carry on. Right. No, useless me. But
gets anyone's name right anyway.
Excellent. Well, I always get everything wrong anyway, including spelling, memory, whatever. So, okay, I've literally not asked you anything about tonight, what you're going to tell me, because I'm coming on as a person who doesn't know anything. The idea being is you're going to teach me as well as everybody else. What does the name PCP stand for? Okay, although it's written pretty much behind me that way. How did you get started? What are you about? And yeah, just start with that. We'll see how you go. Okay, Base is on about 3 cameras now. That's nice, Base. Well done. So, okay, who wants to go first, Kimberly or Lucia?
Lucia, yeah, I'll make a start. We started Public Child Protection Wales back in September 2020. We'd become aware, thanks to Kimberly, we become aware of what was going to be coming into the schools, and we're also aware of how many failings there are just in the education system, in the welfare system in general when it comes to children. So we decided to set up this organisation, and for the last 2 years, we have been putting all our efforts into raising awareness into the RSC and campaigning vigorously against it. So
how bad are things at the moment?
Say that again.
How bad are things at the moment out there?
Wow.
When I
first got involved in this, I thought that things were bad because, you see things. Obviously, children are exposed to a lot of things they shouldn't be exposed to. But the way things are now, it's absolutely diabolical. It's absolutely disgusting. We've gone from, back in my day, I was born in 1980. So, a lot has changed from my day. But I was concerned back then how, when I went to college and girls were sort of boasting about like being promiscuous. But now it's gone a lot worse. And, this education that's come in, they keep insisting that children need it because of what's on the internet. But we say that the government and the big tech should be putting regulations out there, and there's certain things that should be banned from the internet. So, it's almost like rather than protect children against it, they just want to throw it in the children's faces.
So they're worried about porn, basically, and then porn is negative on adults and kids alike, to be
Absolutely.
fair. It's one of the biggest stoppers of relationships because people are lazy and instant solve, and they don't go out looking for a partner. That's part of a relationship, isn't it? One part of it. Obviously, there's a lot more to a relationship than that. But people just go, oh, I'll go put on the internet. That's that problem solved. On with my day. I could be selfish again. Whereas you need to actually be building up relationships. You don't need that. And it's another erosion of our sort of Christian values of this country. However, it's not just the Christians that are against this. I'm aware of that. Muslims have a good say about it. I think you've got a lot of people with you who are of all different religions, genders, ideologies, or whatever. But yeah, I believe that they're trying to degenerate our kids. There's reasons behind it, but I don't know the reasons. I've got an idea, but yeah, they really are pushing it, and they're going to try and make out that if you don't accept it, that you're wrong. There's something wrong with you, isn't there? And you're like, no.
Well, this is it. I go against everything they say in. So I am a child from the streets. I was a homeless teen. I was in a youth offenders institute. So nothing is too hot or too heavy for me. So the whole pearl clutcher argument, or we anti this, anti that, it just doesn't wash, So we are an organisation that go against every single narrative the media promotes. So the core group is non-religious, but we support every single religion, and we've got a massive religious following. Mostly Christians and Muslims. We've got a huge following from them. So the core group as well, all different sexualities. We've even got transgenderism in the group, body dysmorphic. This is why media attention, because the media don't know if they're talking to a Christian or a lesbian. What we've actually achieved here is we've united people on a common sense purpose, and that common sense is child protection. So this is the message that we are driving home. You know, everything else, they can debate about that as long as they want. But the point is here, while there's failings in our safeguarding system and our children are at direct risk, then obviously we have to come together and act. But what we're actually dealing with here is not a discussion around the lesson of sex education. What we're actually dealing with is something called comprehensive sexuality education. This is serious. The whole of the UK need to listen up. Our children have sexual and reproductive rights. That's a game changer. Okay? Our children now have sexual and reproductive rights, which they've started exercising in Scotland. It's legislation here in Wales because children's rights override parental rights, period. And England, you're going to go down the same road as well, you know. What we know is that all 4 UK governments adopted this comprehensive sexuality education in March 2017. So that's when the ball started rolling. And what we're seeing here now is 4 countries, all at different stages of it. So England's been quite quiet because it's been quite sporadic there. But going back to the porn, that's the main thing that keeps coming out of England. Children are given homework. They need to research the different types of porn. So safeguarding them, you know, is their way of safeguarding is introducing the different styles, you know, makes perfect sense. And Scotland, they've just gone straight in there with these horrific sex education lessons.
I actually mirrored a video of yours, and it brought up Scottish sex education, the one with the banana and the jar of Nutella.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
I was hoping that wasn't the case, but
yeah, I've explained to Rev this jar of Nutella and a peeled banana, and half the people I speak to about it online don't believe me. But
well, this is it. That was actually jointly commissioned by NSPCC. So we've written to the NSPCC. There's different aspects of those videos, where they like going into different types of porn. So there was a section there where they were describing amateur porn, mature porn, and for mature porn was somebody bent over a Zimmer frame. So curiosity killed the cat. I wanted to know what amateur porn is. Because if you're showing children that mature porn is an old person over a Zimmer frame, I want the NSPCC to tell me what amateur porn is. There was no image for that. You know, so what is amateur porn? What's the opposite of a Zimmer frame? You know, but the NSPCC will not answer any questions.
So the NSPCC is the protection of kids, isn't it?
Yes.
That's kind of am I not seeing like where this is wrong? Because I mean, you're supposed to protect them, not bombard them with porn and say, "Now you know what you're doing, kids."
Or back the narrative. Actually, you know, physically back the narrative.
Well, the thing is, you know, look, they've got questions. They've had questionable people working for them anyway. You know, we've got, you know, they've had people high up flying on the Lolita Express to Epstein Island. So you know, they've been.
This is the thing.
It's like Disney, isn't it? Like Disney.
Do you remember back in the day when we were kids, there used to be Pudsey Bear and what was it, something, say the kids or what was it called? But it was always, they did it once a year and all the famous people, that's the thing. Yeah, children need to stay away from them people on that TV show because half of them were turned out to be wrong-uns.
Yes.
And it seems to me now, anybody who's, not anybody, but a lot of people that get involved in this are doing it to shadow or to try and hide something else. But if people, representatives from something that's supposed to protect the kids, right, has been to Epstein Island, that's, to me, that's a red light.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, you've only got to look at social services. They said 1 year that they want to take 50% extra kids into care away from their parents. I believe the system at the moment is wrong, but they're trying to tell the kids about anal sex.
That is a way of, that's being promoted in Scotland as a way of contraception, a way of pregnancy prevention.
In fact, that has actually been done in a school in Wales as well, in a comprehensive school. A child has come home saying that they had said that that was a form of contraception. It's absolutely appalling.
And another thing I've noticed that the word masturbation is not used in this curriculum. It's called self-stimulation. That's the only thing I believe that they've sort of restricted. A word that we know. They've changed the word that we know. Sorry. Go on, Kate.
Yes, so depends on which package you're looking at. So if you're looking at the All About Me package, which is for the really small children, they got the self-stimulation in there. But then as soon as you get to age 9, it switches back to masturbation.
But hang on a minute. Self-stimulation to somebody of what age?
Of
6.
so this, would you like me to show you? This was in
I think I need a drink.
This was in 241 schools in England. This was. I'll just find it for you now.
Yeah. Geez.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't ask before. I don't think I could get it with this.
I mean, obviously, I'm speaking to the experts here, but I thought they talk about self-stimulation at 5 to 6 is what I heard from yourself.
Why?
Right, so this started with children as young as. Can I share my screen?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
How do I do this?
I wonder if I need to do anything or whether you can just do
Yeah,
it.
so this was in 241 schools in England. It's supposed to be for
Are you sharing your
age,
screen at the moment? Because if you are, I can't see it.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just finding out. So it's supposed to be for children aged 6 to 10, but there was some mixed classes. So this got in with the there was some 4-year-olds. Can you see the screen there?
Yeah.
Right. So this is the rules about self-stimulation. So there are rules about touching yourself too. Now, lots of people like to tickle or stroke themselves as they might feel nice. They might play with their hair, stroke their skin, or they may even touch their private parts. This is really very normal. However, some people may get cross or say that it is dirty, especially when touching your own privates. This is strange, as it's really very normal. However, it is not polite to do it when other people are about. It is something we should only do when we're alone, perhaps in the bath or shower or in bed. A bit like picking your nose. It is certainly not polite to do it in the class when everyone is watching. Now,
I got to say, what they're saying there, don't do anything like that in public, but they don't need to know at that age.
Right, so let me explain that to you in more detail. That is a serious safeguarding concern, okay? So what we've got in that classroom, we do have children who touch themselves, fiddling away. Children who don't ever do it. Children who are doing it for a medical reason, and children who are doing it because they are being sexually abused. Yeah. So what that has done now, that has told every single child in the class, it's okay to touch yourself, it feels good. But don't you do it in a classroom. So they have now programmed every single child in all 241 schools away from what we call a non-verbal disclosure. But that's safeguarding.
So for the dumb people, right, like me, basically in the old days, if you were being touched up and you didn't know any of this, you'd give off signals that something's not right with that one, right?
It's called a non-verbal disclosure. And
right, so this would stand out and you go, that one there needs investigating. There's something not right here. But now, because they're telling everybody not to do it, that person can carry on being abused and they won't give off any signals.
No, well, they're not going to give off any signals in the classroom, are they? And now that they're all doing it, we're on teachers groups on Facebook, and there was an entire nursery on there the other day. The 3-year-olds, they were touching each other, looking at each other and pulling each other's underwear down. The teachers on there had said these words, "We've had a word and nothing's changed." But what they've done, because they are not educated on non-verbal disclosures, this is now manifested across the whole lot of the 3-year-olds. They've asked the 3-year-olds not to do it. The 3-year-olds haven't listened. And now we've lost what's going on.
And now they're going home and doing it somewhere else as well.
So, and because these children now are touching themselves, it's something they do. So that now, if a predator can actually touch that child, because it's something they do anyway. So nobody's going to pick up on it. And what you find is when a child is being abused, they tend to get abused by a lot more other people as well.
Yep.
Because they've got like a you can see straight through them. Predators are really good at spotting vulnerabilities in the same way a hairdresser can spot your split ends,
Yeah.
You know how to pick it out. And once you've been abused once, the chances are you're going to be abused again. And this is just fraught with lots of safeguarding issues.
Yeah,
but
and also people getting footage of this happening at schools. I mean, if they got CCTV in the classroom.
Now, but that's just one part in a package. Now, if you as a parent go to that school and ask to see all about me, you're going to see wonderful stuff about keeping yourself clean, how to care for others. It's all wonderful stuff. And then you'll have a piece like that, which blows everything out of the water, you know, and this is how they're getting away with it.
Yeah, what they do is they make so much paperwork that you lose the will to live reading it.
Yeah.
And then the rubbish is buried right at the bottom where you don't get to. People like me, dyslexic, will just start to read the first bit and go, oh, all right, I'll never get to the bottom because it takes too long. And that's where they'll bury it.
Not dyslexic, there's a psychology behind it. When a document is so long, nobody's interested. There is a psychology behind it, whether you're dyslexic or not, you know, and they know that.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same with the documents as well, isn't it, Kim? Like, obviously you would study those documents and you know what to look for because of your, you know, like in your field, but like to the everyday person reading those documents, because there's things in there, it does sound good, it sounds like it's going to be helpful for children and, you know, help children make good decisions, although, you know, there's certain decisions that children shouldn't be making. It should always be a no when it comes to these things. But when the way they go on through this document, you know, it does seem lovely, but it's only if you know what to look for that you're like, whoa, hang on. That's actually saying that children are sexual from birth, and it's there, you know, it is actually very disturbing.
So that particular piece was from age 4, okay, in England. Now let me show you the ones from Scotland. So this is they straight back on masturbation now for Scotland. There's something I really want to show you on these PowerPoints, and I've purposely logged out of YouTube just to show you this, okay? So let's look. So this is masturbation, and this is from age 11 onwards, all right? Let me know when you can see it.
Yep.
Can you see that?
Now. Yeah.
Right. So every single slide is playing like that, okay? They're all like that, and they just got pictures on them. So this is from age 11, this is. And these slides are done, ready for the teachers to go to. And there's also videos ready for the teachers to go to. And when the teachers click on the videos,
your signal's gone a bit, I think.
Started changing to YouTube.
Right, hang on a minute. No, it's not changed yet, but
has it gone to YouTube?
No.
No.
No, I think we're lagging a bit, that's all.
Is it changing now?
Nope.
Okay, it'll come up for you now, hopefully.
Has it come up for you, Kim?
It took a while for me. Yeah, it's come up for me. I can stop sharing and reshare if I have to. So I stop sharing.
Start again.
I'll come back now and reshare. Okay, so this is what happens. So you can do this yourself, guys, okay? I was just on the Scottish Government website, rshp.gov. I want to show you what happened when I clicked on that YouTube, right? Okay. Like I said, I signed out of YouTube just purposely to show you. So this is what happens, and this is a video for an age 11. Can you see it?
Sign up to confirm your age.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's exactly the same link. I don't know if you can see at the top. It's exactly the same. Well, it says masturbation totally normal there, right? So that's the kind of thing we are dealing with, you guys. So that's age 11.
Too spicy for YouTube, but fine for 11-year-olds. They're not even teens. They're not even fucking teens.
11, you're still a baby. Exactly. You know, it's so young.
16 years old, I was still scared of girls. I wanted a girlfriend, but I just, all right, you just stay there, mate. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. Oh, God.
Well, this is it. What you'll find in these documents, doesn't matter what you look at, whether it's the international ones or the local ones, by the time you get to age 9, they're discussing sexual intercourse.
Yeah, but
so I've actually got a PowerPoint too.
To discuss the other whole as a precautionary, A, it ain't meant to go there. B, you can do a lot of damage. C, no, you use protection because protection's not just to stop you getting pregnant. Not that you should be doing it that age anyway, but also it's to stop diseasing.
The thing is, they're not even talking about traditional sort of normal sex.
No, it's wrong.
They're literally telling sort of like a heterosexual girl and boy, because a lot of them will be, and they're saying to them, perform anal sex. And they're what? They're having this at 10, 11, 12, 13. So you're actually telling someone of that age to perform an act like that, when, to be honest with you, that sort of stuff, even when I was young and all that, it just was sex. It wasn't anal sex, right? It was sex, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
Because that's what you.
they say in it's relationship education, right? So why are they introducing sex? Because when you're having sex, there's a chemical exchange which goes on. And they're not taught about this. So they bed hopping. They'll go to another bed and another bed. But they've got this emptiness inside of them because of this oxytocin, the release of oxytocin, which is damaging their relationships. So how is this relationships education when we're missing that vital part, you know? Because that's something we've, you know, I'm almost 40 now. And like I said, I'm a kid from the streets. So nothing's too hot or too heavy for me. But that is something that I'm seeing amongst my peers. I'm a single parent myself with 2 boys. I come from a broken home myself. And that is because of this sexual liberation, the chemical exchange when we're having sex, and we're leaving each other. Well, we're all empty. We're all messed up. We can't hold down. Well, I'm saying
My generation was like that.
yeah. You know,
Well,
this is why people can't hold down a relationship. So that contradicts the entire title.
Yeah, it's like everything on tap straight away. So growing up, when we went into the 90s, everybody all of a sudden was up to it, right? And I became aware, and then it was like drugs. And looking back at it, it was the most least fulfilling now looking at it. And I wouldn't massively regret it, but I wished I'd never done it, right?
Yeah.
And once you start getting that attention, it is like drugs. It's like the strongest drug you ever take, right? And the more attention they give you, the more you do it. And then halfway through the act or towards the end of the act, you're like, oh, am I here? But anyway, luckily you come out the other side. But at a really young age, that'd be a drug they won't be able to get off. And we're going to have massive pregnancies because they won't take the other hold, even though you shouldn't anyway. They won't take precautions. The STDs will go through the roof, right? AIDS will go up, and God knows whatever else will go up. But not just that, they're softening up the sexualization of these kids so that when an adult approaches them, oh, well, it's all right. And then they can get hold of them, you know, young.
Well, that's part of their sexual rights. That's part of their sexual reproductive rights.
What, to do it underage?
Well, it's to do it as long as they say it's good. It's pleasure, you see. It's pleasure.
Oh, so, like, as long as it feels good at 11, who's to argue? Is that where they're coming from?
No, as long as it feels good from birth. This is their frameworks. These are their frameworks.
Just to jump in here now as well, ladies. Can we emphasise there's no opt-out for any parents in this?
Right, so in Wales, there is no opt-out at all. In England,
from
they
3.
are messing you about. So this is from age 3 in Wales, age 3 to 16, no parental opt-out. It's not one lesson. We've got the whole school approach. So it's all across the curriculum in every single subject, including corridor talk. So we've got absolutely no say. It's insane. This is one of the 4 mandatory subjects. So there's religion, there's RSE, we've got Welsh and English. Those are the 4 subjects our government believe our children need to become happy, confident individuals.
And then brainwashing to be socialist while you're there.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is it, because it's very much open to interpretation as well. So depending on like the values of the teacher. So if you've got a teacher who is, say, woke, or, you know, thinks, oh, it's great to go around having multiple partners, it's fantastic. These are the people that, you know, they're going to bring those values then onto the children. So, you know, there's a lot of things to be worried about here. And the other thing as well is they keep stating, the Welsh government state over and over, it's going to be age and developmentally appropriate. So obviously,
but who sets those rules?
Say that again.
Who sets that age?
Exactly. So Kim had actually asked the question, didn't you, Kim? What tool is used to ensure, because obviously with reading, you can tell if a child what level they're on based on, you know, like what they can read, and the same with maths. It's very easy to determine their developmental age in those areas. But in an area such as the RSC, what is used? And there is actually no tool available, but it's the Welsh government who decides what is age and developmentally appropriate. And what they say goes.
But look at Drakeford. He's the top of your government, and his son, that was his parental skills that helped his son go on to be the great creature he is.
Well,
I mean, really?
We've been told you can't say that.
I just did.
For a start,
Right?
he was adopted. Well, my argument is this.
Adopted.
Why is that man not stood next to us because he understands the complexities of this?
Because he likes it.
He understands. So, you know, if we're going to look at it from an innocent point of view, this man understands how complex this topic is. He should be stood shoulder to shoulder with us, saying, this is too important. We got to get this right. But
if Drakeford stood next to you, he wouldn't be in next time. He's been put there as a puppet. He's a moron, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, he's connected to other idiots. I mean, the Boys of Wales, or the Voice of Wales, they've spoken to him, and you can see what a wrong he is, because he doesn't want to come into contact with you people unless you people have been checked to give the right chat to him to make him look good. He's a wrong'un, right? And I'll say it. Now, anybody who pushed for this is a wrong'un, right? And anybody who comes up with this idea is a wrong'un.
Well, I just call him a nonce, because, like I said, I come from a Youth Offenders Institute. The meaning of nonce to me means if you've touched a woman, child, or old person, you're a nonce, right? And that's the way it is. You're not allowed a normal exercise of everyone else. And the way I, you know, my own background, they wouldn't be allowed near the normal population. They would be
unwell.
As I consider they are nonce material. This is nonsense. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many of them. I mean, you've only got to look at all these famous people now. Do you remember when that comedian stood at the Oscars or wherever it was and called them all out, and they all right like this because they're all wrong-uns? And I believe that you can't get to certain positions unless you've either been into that kind of stuff or you've been put in a position so that you have to go along with it. And I do believe that there is something, I don't know what quite, that's pushing this degeneracy on the West. All right. So, because I don't think it's just happening in the UK. This will be happening in Europe.
Oh,
this will be happening in Canada.
We're actually the last in Europe to get it. So, do you want me to just show you some documents for people to look at? I think it's really important people recognize them. So, this is for everybody in the UK now. This is really, like I said, I think it's important everybody knows exactly what they're dealing with. So this, I've been following this since 2013. I found out when I first came to Spain. I seen an article online about 4-year-olds being taught masturbation. You know, obviously that couldn't be true. I went researching. I found it was absolutely worse than what the article was saying. It was from birth. So what you've got here now that's going to come up on the screen in a second are 3 documents. The first one is Sexuality Education in Europe and Central Asia. This document tells us that we were the last in Europe to get this. So if you look at page 8, it tells you when we signed up for it, March 2017, and it tells you which document was used. Well, that document is the next one here. The World Health Organization Standard for Sexuality Education in Europe. This is the framework everybody needs to read, okay? So, can you see that slide there, guys?
Yep.
Right, so this is
Let's see if I can make it bigger. 1 minute.
Yeah, we can try and make it bigger.
I was going to say my eyesight can't see it, but then my eyesight's rubbish.
Read it out for us, though, Kim, the important bits, so we can...
Yeah, I will. Okay, so if you look in the top left-hand corner there, that's the age of the child. So that's 0 to 4, okay? Now, I'm just going to read the sexuality section there. So remember, 0 to 4 is birth to 4. Enjoyment and pleasure when touching one's own body. Early childhood masturbation. Discovery of own body and genitals. The fact that enjoyment and physical closeness is normal part of everyone's life. Tenderness and physical closeness an expression of love and affection. Gaining awareness of gender identity. Talk about unpleasurable feelings in one's own body. Express own needs, wishes, and boundaries, for example, in the context of playing doctor. And apparently, the attitude that children will get from this is positive attitudes towards one's bodily function and respect for others. So this is the framework that all 4 UK governments accepted, okay? And the document before that tells us that that's the document they use, okay? So the third document here you can see is the newest version now. This is the UNESCO version. And if you open the front cover of this UNESCO document, it tells you who is partnered with. And if you look at the front cover there, you can see who they're partnered with. And it says this is part of the 2030 global agenda. It says all this as soon as you open the front cover, guys. It is all there. We are all dealing with something that's come from America. The research for this was done a long, long time ago through the work of Alfred Kinsey. It's all got paedophilic undertones. It is referenced by the paedophiles as well. That's all in our presentations. This is what we're dealing with, guys. This is what we're all dealing with. Like I said, we are the last in Europe to get this, and they brag about that. They've been trying to get this in for a long time. Professor Payton tried to fight it in 2014 when they tried to remove our parental opt-out. We are at the end of a massive agenda here, you know. This is why we've got such strong legislation, because the rest of the world is kicking off. This is not a new education, it's just new to us.
So how do we fight this?
Well, she is fighting.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. For the people who don't know, how?
Yeah.
Well, the only way we can fight this, guys, is a movement, right? We have to, it started with one small group of people, it ends with one small group of people. It needs to become a movement, because that's how we come in. We're fighting against lobbyists and all sorts. We've actually got this in court. Yeah. So we have succeeded in getting a judicial review. Now, we're the first in the UK to achieve that as well, because England has kicked it on a technicality. They are hiding all this stuff from you guys. All we have to do is rise, okay? In Wales here, we've got 22 local authorities. We've got 21 fighting the local authorities, okay? It's that simple. We've got such a small country that we've managed to coordinate it that practically the whole country is under pressure. The government has stopped the council engaging with us full stop, okay? So we've got them on the back ropes. Now, I have been saying start small and take them all. So I think everybody should pile in Wales and get behind Wales. Because we're all in the same storm. We're just in different... We're on a raft. You lot are on a boat. There's loads of water getting in. You need to get on our raft kind of thing. But after Christmas, this goes UK-wide. There's 20 organisations in England. They're mostly religious. That's why they've been shut down, because who are they with their old-fashioned views? But I think us, now that we've come along, we've changed that. There's organisations and activists in Scotland. We need to rise now, guys. We are small enough to do it. You know, we have, like I've said, we've got 21 out of 22 local authorities active here. We just need to keep going.
Okay,
but it has to be movement. It has to be movement. Like, we are fighting this in court. It's costing in excess of £100,000 approximately. They are willing to fight us all the way. We are going to the European courts. We are waiting for our judgment now. There will be appeals. Guys, you need to use this opportunity. You don't choose where you go to war. The war is in Wales, so get behind us. Or wait.
So when's the next thing for you? Where you
can we put PCP's links up in the chat as well, please? Can we put PCP's links up?
After's here at the moment, so I should imagine he'll be able to do that, because I'm
on all channels
struggling for links. Yeah, if you put them in the private comments, I'll see if I can put them in the main comments.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, how do people who do YouTube help you? Because obviously that's what I do. How, apart from this, do you go to events and we live stream that? How does that, raise awareness and try and get you some cash?
Yeah, so we've got a website, publicchildprotectionwales.org, and we've also got a fundraiser up and running as well. So Lucia, she's a certified chartered accountant. She's in charge of all the money and the fundraising. And Lo, do you want to fill everyone in on that?
The difficult part in it.
Yes,
the funny raising, money raising. God, this is a horrible topic, isn't it? You know, I mean, put me on.
Kim, check the if you can put it in the back chat, and then we can throw it out in the main chat. Then all your links, please.
Your private chat thing. But yeah, God, this is the.
There we are. Just put the fundraiser one on, yeah.
Okay.
Should I put our website as well?
Oh yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
It shocked you a bit, hasn't it, Simon, hearing this? Because he's gone into this bit blind. I've told him stuff about it, and I've said, we need to get people on.
He says, you might want to talk. I said, no, I'm going to come in like everybody else who doesn't know anything. Jesus.
Yeah. And it is
what the fuck? This is really, really serious, because they've been getting away with this for ages in Scotland. the first 2 years of this in Scotland, transgender intervention for 4-year-olds increased by 80%. Now, 4 years on, transgender treatment for under 16s increased by 1,600%. Here in Wales, the children are getting told they're born in the wrong body. This sex education, comprehensive sexual rights. So part of their sexual rights is the state can administer medication to your child without consent. Children are being removed in America. So this is very, very serious. You know, don't read one document. You need to research this. You need to investigate it thoroughly. You know, but the evidence is out there. It's all on our website as well. And it's just a case of getting informed. We've all got to get behind this. You know, this is the one thing that we can actually make a dent in.
If you had kids now, they were little, would you just homeschool them from the off?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well,
so my children are in comprehensive school now, so obviously I've still got to have an eye to see what's going on, and they obviously at their age they can speak to me if there's something untoward. I can get information from them. But if they were in primary school, there is no way, especially like the youngsters, because parents, they are so, because I remember when my children were little, especially my boy, I couldn't get anything out of him. What do you learn in school today? And it would be like, oh, nothing. I couldn't get. So with parents with children in primary school, I'm really, really sad for them. And the thing is, they're going to be learning topics as well that you can't get it out of your brain, can't you? Especially children, their brains are like sponges. They take on things, so they take everything in, don't they? If you tell a child at the age of 5, oh, you could be wrong you could be born in the wrong body, then that's it. That's their truth. They believe everything. They don't know any different. So it is a massive, massive concern with what they're bringing into children's ears.
I think they're just trying to screw with our kids' head till they're absolutely, completely not knowing where they're coming and going.
Rev, did you see the Project Veritas? I know they're older. It was 14 to 16-year-olds, but Project Veritas exposed this last week, where the dean of the private school that they're paying like $80,000 a year for was handing out, can I say this on YouTube? Butt plugs and dildos.
Right? I'm boasting about it, wasn't it? Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. It's just fucking beyond. It's beyond anything you can think. And that's they're just trying to do this to normalize it. People say, "Oh, this is a far right conspiracy." They are. If you think this is normal, you're fucking mad.
Yeah. I didn't even know what butt plugs were. I was like, "What's that?" I didn't even know they existed.
I heard about them. I thought, what would be the point? Yeah, I mean, I'm boring. What would be the point in that then?
There is a worksheet out there, and on this worksheet is showing children if you can't get sex toys, you can use vegetables. It's got the vegetables on the worksheet as well.
Oh, yeah.
We want children to stimulate. They want children to stimulate their genitals. So as soon as you start the stimulation of the genitals,
you move up and up and up.
Yeah,
I've had that. I need the real thing, and it's like, no, you don't.
Pornography, then you rewire in the brain. They're desensitizing these children to sex anyway. They're eroding away victim resistance. They've invested £1 million into lowering the age of consent, and that's on the Feminist Declaration, 25th anniversary, Section 14A. So we know where they're going. We know exactly. We've got the
basically they want to be able to get away with doing stuff to kids at the age of 5 and 10 and not get nicked. Because how many of the politicians have ever? We look at our previous politicians, and it turned out that so many of them were actually into kids.
Yes.
And so much of globalism is into people in really high positions that are into kids. The reason I think, obviously, they're sick, but a lot of them is what makes them different from us is having the things that we can't have. We have to abide by laws, right? Which is a good thing. All right. But what sets them aside is being able to get away with having the stuff that we can't have. Good, bad, and or indifferent, right? They can afford it, and if they can't afford it, they can do it anyway and get somebody to cover it up. Now, it's all wrong, but they're all at it. I mean, in the police, ambulance service, in politics, they're at it. In the theatre and the films and everything you look that's big, they're all at it.
Well, don't forget, 30 years ago, a lot of the main players in the Labour Party wanted to lower the age to 12.
Well, wasn't it the Labour and the Conservative Party? They were, what was it, MAP?
Paedophile
Or Pie. It was Pie originally, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He said, "Map."
But this is it. These
That's
are
minor attracted person. Pie is.
Well, 3 decades later.
Yeah. How did they have an organ? Like they had a political party. How long was that? Was it 7 or 10 years that Pie existed?
Yeah.
How? Like, you know, like this is what people have got to start thinking. It's real. This is real.
Who funded them? Who funded them behind the scenes? So,
I haven't looked into who funded them, but we do know that the likes of Peter Tatchell, he supported them. He's the guy who campaigned against removing out parental opt-out. He also speaks about sex with 9-year-old boys possibly being harmless. You know, these are the kind of people
harmless to who?
Education.
Yeah, I mean.
And he hasn't got any children. He's a gay man, no children. Yet he has got more influence over what the children are learning than, say, you know, parents, you know, actual parents.
Do you know, there's an interview on him on that self-stimulation part that we just showed. You know, he did an interview and he was like, unlike everyone else, I've read all about me. It's about keeping you safe, and any parent out there would want their children to be safe. No, really.
No, it's about keeping paedophiles safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is when we hear the word paedophile, we hear in something really dirty and evil. But a lot of these speak Latin, and they are hearing child love. Child love. So it's a different word to them, isn't it? It's a different word in a different world. For us, it's dirty, vile, but for them, it's pedophile, it's child love.
That's like changing shot dead to massage with lead, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. God. I knew the world was pretty sick out there. And there's a lot of really good people as well. If anybody's watching, it's not all bad, right? But the people that govern us are the people that are wrong and sick.
The players are wrong. A lot of the big players are really wrong.
Well, otherwise we wouldn't have got this far. If there weren't so many wrong people, then we wouldn't be in this mess.
Yeah, but child sex abuse is a rich man's sport anyway. It's what they call it.
Yeah, I mean, look at those kids that went missing from... I went to cover that Melanie Shaw thing, right? Now, when I went to court, she'd been liquid coshed. She was absolutely out of her face. She thought that she'd had a relationship with the judge. She thought that she'd been a fireman. She was a police officer. She'd been complete. And she was late coming up because they coshed her so hard that they couldn't even get her to stand. And it was obvious to us what they'd done.
Yeah.
That woman's now completely screwed. Poor thing. But she had a photographic memory, and she was in a kid's home, and she remembers high up officials from the police force, politicians coming around and having a go on the kids. And that's what happened to her. Now, I'm not saying that she's not without, you know, her own faults and problems, but after that had happened to you, you're not going to be right anyway.
No.
But at the end of the day, anybody who speaks out gets absolutely smashed. I mean, take for instance what happens with the grooming gangs. When somebody comes out and speaks about that and they end up getting pregnant themselves, they have their kid taken off them.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You can't speak out about it. Now, there's been a lot of selling of kids or movement of kids around from, I'm not going to get into this, but gangs. And they will make their way to the rich elite, either in London and other places, you know, the ones that are calling for this. And to be honest, this is a lot of hassle, having to go through all of these back channels and seedy little whatever to get their hands on a kid. This is why they're pushing for this. It would be just so much easier if we could make it legal. Then we can just do what we like.
Well, they said they're empowering kids beyond capacity, and what they're actually referring to as well is sexual pleasure. So even if, say, a young boy is being abused, well, you don't have to be pleasured to have an erection and ejaculation. If you're scared, that can happen anyway. So with a boy, stimulation will cause an erection, eventually ejaculation. And that's confusion.
Young boys get it on a bus ride. I mean, this thing, as a young lad, it happens without any answer. You don't want it to happen most of the time as a kid, right? It's like, oh, God, not that again, right? It happens. It's an embarrassment, right? And I've heard women who have been in counselling after they've been raped, and the biggest problem they had is they had an involuntary orgasm, but it happened through the stimulation. And they thought it was terrible. It was like, no, actually, it's a physical thing. Those things down there are there for a reason. That happens, you know. So... But yeah,
And this is how we get away with this. Like, see, you enjoyed it because your body reacted like that. When all it is a biological reaction. That's all it is.
And it must really muck with your head. Say, for instance, you're being interfered with, it's terrible. All of a sudden, you have that build up and that orgasm. Maybe it's your first.
Yeah.
That knocks your head off.
Yeah.
I thought broke the thing the first time it happened. I was like, what the? Anyway, right? It's the most weird thing, and it's brilliant. It's great. It's awful. It's terrible. It's wonderful. It's all that sort of stuff. But it's a drug. And that kid then, was that good? I don't know. Maybe it was. I'll try again. You're on your way.
And the thing is, like you said, that kid, was it good? Was it not? If somebody said, see, you enjoyed that, then straight away, of course it was good. You know, it's so easy to manipulate the child, and especially with these biological reactions as well, you know?
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, and they also because in the RSC, they keep talking about consent. They need to teach children about consent from a young age and they keep using this word and saying, it'll stop them being sexually abused if we teach them the consent. And we always say it's never consent. With a child, it's always an empowering no. There's no negotiation skills. It's always no. It is so easy to manipulate a child. And these predators are usually very clever people, and they know what to say. They know how to make a child feel special. And then we're expecting children to be able to consent.
If it's so acceptable, why is it they never do it in front of men like me?
Well, but I suppose their MO's like a salesman MO, like you say, they know how to manipulate children, so they just go about it a certain way.
They're sly.
Just like you would sell a car to someone or something. You're trying to, there's a way you do it.
You got somebody with a degree in art, right? Teaching a child how to consent. Now, we already know a teacher from a school in Blaine and Mice has said children at the age of 6 don't understand the concept of consent. It's a new thing to them, but we need to teach them anyway, even though it's a new thing. So we got somebody teaching a child how to consent, right? But they've got a degree in art, and they're probably in an abusive relationship themselves. They've been manipulated themselves, and they don't even realize it or know it, So this is a really dodgy ground here, isn't it?
But it's like this.
Yes, the content is a problem, but so are the people delivering it. So are the people delivering it.
The people that deliver it say that a kid at the age of 4 knows whether it's a boy or a girl and whether to get his bits knocked off, right? And now it knows that it can consent. All right, and say that it's nice. Yet when they get to 17, 18, 19, when they do something wrong and they're on the right side or the wrong side of the thing, all of a sudden they're kids. They didn't know any better. Which one is it? You know what I mean? You either are a kid or you're not.
Well,
if you are, that's it.
That's a really good point, because that's why we've got a separate criminal justice systems for the children. Psychology tells us the brain isn't fully developed till 25, but we're giving them a car at the age of 17. We're giving them alcohol at the age of 18 and sending them on their way anyway,
Yeah, he didn't know any better. That's why he went and stole that, or he didn't know any better. That's why he punched that person. But he didn't know any better yet, but he knows at the age of 4 that he wants to give sexual gratification to an adult, does he? Yeah, right. Of course he can.
Exactly, yeah.
This is what we're up against.
Yeah.
So, obviously, any other time that you want to come on, if there's something that comes up, let me know, because I want to do my bit to help. Because obviously, I've had a daughter, and luckily she's old enough now. But at some point, she's going to want to have kids.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell her at school at home, do not send that to the meat grinder where they come out damaged.
But we want it out of the schools. We don't. There's no place.
No, that's right. But I mean, at the moment, the schools aren't a safe place.
No,
because of this.
No.
And we're going for full reform anyway. We are women on a mission. This isn't just stop RSC. We are going in there like a bunch of bulldozers. We've had enough.
Yeah.
We are the people at the bottom. Myself more specifically, nothing to lose, everything to gain. So let's go for it, Drakeford.
Yeah. When's this judgment coming there, Kim? Do we know?
So this judgment, I predicted it would come between the 3rd and 8th of January, because that's like the 6-week mark with bank holidays. But the government are pushing for it earlier. The judge has said that she'll try to give it before Christmas, but there's no guarantee. If it comes before Christmas, I'm going to be annoyed, because I know how complex it is, and I'm going to know it's rushed. But yeah, it's any day now, to be honest. We've got a 12-hour podcast on Thursday, 12 till 12, Lucia. That's to raise some money towards that. So if you guys can subscribe to our website and stay in
You did
touch,
put the link in,
follow us
didn't
on
you?
there, that'll be great.
Yeah, you did put the link into.
Yeah, we're hoping to have it on our website. It depends on if we can live stream it because we're not very technical. So we're hoping it to be on the website, but it will definitely be on our Facebook page. That's Public Child Protection Wales. We've got a Facebook page there, or our YouTube channel, and that is PCP Wales.
Yeah.
PCP
Yeah,
Wales.
PCP
Yeah.
Wales.
So we'll definitely be live from those two channels, and we're just hoping that we can get it on the website as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you should put the shout out, see if somebody can actually give you a hand, but it's also knowing who you can trust because there'll be people that are coming to sabotage you at the moment, right?
Yeah,
So
we've had that as well.
if you get problems, I've got friends that help me. Maybe I can see if I can put them your way because I'm a pillock and I need all the help I can get. I really do.
We've had to learn. We've learned to build the website ourselves and everything. We've had to learn from scratch. You know, it's a nightmare.
And do you know what? If life had been normal, you'd have been out just enjoying life like anybody else. But I was just meant to be a lorry driver. I ended up doing this because I was so naffed off about what's going on. I mean,
I'm supposed to have a really good job now, and I'm the most unemployable woman in Wales.
Yeah, I've been binned out of 2 jobs already because of this. So it is what it is. So I know you feel, but but it is the thing. When you go to meet your creator, you've got to have a clear conscience.
Yeah,
I know I haven't done anything really bad. I mean, just minor things like getting drunk and shit when I was younger. But other than that, really nothing too terrible. But I couldn't watch this and do nothing.
No.
Because it's like my granddads, they went and fought in the war, right? And they're all gone now. But you'd have to go up and meet them if you believe in all that and stand in front of them and go, so I actually did nothing, even though your lot died.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, ain't gonna wash. So
exactly. And that's the same now, you know, with my relatives, I mean, it's something to me, they're all past. The ones that are alive just think, I've always been the red sheep anyway. But this is what I keep thinking, you know, I don't care. You know, my audience hasn't been born yet. And that's what I'm doing it for. You know, the future is not tomorrow or next year. It's the world we leave behind.
Could have been worse, love. You could have upset your family by marrying an English man. Do you know what I mean? It could be worse. All right, yeah.
Grandpa's English.
That's but yeah, look at that one, Rev.
Wales.
Yeah, I got.
He was very patriotic. You know, he had a massive Welsh flag on the pole in his garden. He always had a Welsh flag on his bumper when he had a new car, and he had a really thick English accent.
Well, my husband's the same. He's very patriotic, like Welshman, but he's half English.
Have it. I got a name like Evans.
It's the
Thomas, actually,
Just be Davis now.
God. Well, look, right. So the next time you need some more, you need to get on and tell about what's going on. We got the links in there, so when they go through, they'll see it. If you need, I'll post the links also on my YouTube channel in my notice thing. So yeah, when your live comes up, let me know so I can then do something and tell everybody that the live is going out that day.
Oh, brilliant. It's going to be full of everything's RSE. We've got the UK campaigns, gender, queer theory, RSE, the court, porn. We're covering lots of different areas. We've got like trans people on as well who are campaigning against this. So hopefully we'll cover a bit of everything for everyone.
So if you'd like to have your way and get education back to maths, science, English, PE, or whatever, right, and go back to the old days where there was none of this politics, nothing like that going on, nothing trying to turn us weird. And the biggest thing you had to worry about was smoking behind the bike shed.
Yes.
Cope with that.
Yes. Well, this is it. My son's been removed from school. He's almost 15 now. I took him out when he was 12 because he understands non-contact sex abuse. I'm a criminologist. He knows what's legal and what's not legal, you know. So I'm raising my son to open doors and they're there in school raising him to open legs. I don't, that's a massive conflict there, you know. So this is what we're dealing with here.
Do you know what? When you're brought up a traditional gentleman, this really makes you want to puke. Really does.
And I'd just like I'd just like to say as well that with the education system full stop, these days, you know the art teacher is a lesbian, and you know she has a partner because she talks about her every week in lesson, right?
Yes.
Now back in
family channel. Yeah, remember?
I don't know. But we talk about dildos and butt plugs, so I don't think it makes
yeah.
much
I'm just
difference.
trying to sell it, mate, to people that aren't grannies
I
and stuff
know,
like that.
I know,
So, all right.
but back in my day, I didn't know about the teachers' relationships
No,
or
only if
anything
they
like
had
that.
a ring on. Only if they had a ring
There
on.
were comfortable shoes and there were lumberjack shirts. That's as far as it went.
Now we know they went to a kink festival on the weekends. You know what I mean? What the fuck's going on here?
Yeah. There was actually someone who was putting a complaint to the school because their child was in a class where the teacher was actually
Crying.
telling the children about their relationship problems.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this
'cause the
happened
kids need
twice,
to know that.
right? So this happened twice. So I wanted to find out now. Hang on, this has happened twice in the same class. Is this primary school or comp? It happens to be comp. So you've got different classes coming in. So if she's cried twice in front of this class, how many other classes have she cried in front of? That's emotional abuse.
Yeah.
That's emotional abuse. If I was crying in front of my children all the time, social services, they would take them off me.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, they're not the teachers' children. I mean, because then it could be passable, couldn't it? But you're doing it in your job. It's your workplace.
Well, when we were in school, we'd say, "Miss, have you got a boyfriend? Mind your business."
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Because there was a professional relationship there, and that was it. Now those boundaries have been blurred. We got transition teachers. You're looking sad today. Do you think you could be gay? This is what we're dealing with,
Do you know what the worst we had to cope with was somebody with CND badge on, and even that you're like, here we go. But there you go. All right, well, look, I gotta wrap this up now because we could go on about this all night long, and it's just oh god, it's upsetting, isn't it? I've got to go and have a heavy drink now. Seriously, this has been a real eye-opener for me. But anyway, it's got to be worked on. And any help I can, I'll give you.
Thank you for having us on.
If anybody else wants to interview you and they want to get hold of me, I'll get hold of Base and Base can get hold of you, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because the more people you speak to, the better it is, really, isn't it? So,
this is our own media as well now.
If you're doing something live over in Wales, right, I'll come over and
Brilliant.
So
So we've got the appeal soon. Anyway, we'll have the appeal soon. Either way, regardless of the outcome, there will be appeal from their side or our side. So we're still in the fight. We're still in the thick of it, guys. Don't take your foot off the gas, please.
Yeah, keep fighting.
Okay, well, look, keep up the good work, and I'll come over when you've got something that you want me to do, because I hate the.
And keep all the links in the chat for PCP Wales on their Facebook page and their YouTube channel, please. Go on, give your links again quickly. Give your links again quickly so we can get them out again.
Hang on, mate.
Okay.
I've got to go back through them, you git. Okay. Hang on, Based. Hang on. Oh.
Just verbally call them out, Kim.
All right.
Publicchildprotectionwales.org is our website, and they find everything on there, I think, really, when they know.
Right. Yeah, you can get to the YouTube and everything on there, can't you? And the Facebook page. It's on the first page there.
Brilliant. Thanks all so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
No worries. Right. Okay. What we got? Which ones we got? Publicchildprotection.org. And
that's the one.
Right.
That's the one. The org one. .org.
I'm useless. I don't know about what an organ and all the rest of them. I'm useless. I'm dyslexic, innit? If I put up a website, nobody would be able to read it anyway. So that's why I do video.
Yeah. Kim, I think the first time we met was outside Caerphilly Castle. And I think I was either lockdown or that was a PCP event, I think.
That was lockdown, yeah. We had no choice but to be out. We had a COVID fine as well, but we had no choice but to gate crash other people's events. And the Mirror took a photo. They published it in the paper, but they made sure their photo cut out the education banner.
Of course.
Yeah, always. They always did that.
They always make sure the education banner is not included.
It's classic. It's literally.
They tried to erase us all along.
Yeah,
they will do, because you're not part of you're not part of their agenda, are you? There should be a D notice on anything you do, probably, I'd imagine. So, anyway, I will say thank you very much for coming on. Thank you very much for Base. All right, and follow them on all the links, etc. Get stuck in, because otherwise it could be your kid they're trying to turn into a sex pest.
Yeah.
And it will be your kids or your relatives' kids. This is
It's not
Britain wide.
It's not if, it's when, you know.
No, it has a bad ending. Basically, in 20 years' time, if you let them do this now, all your kids will be little sex pests.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, guys, thank you very much. Thanks for this opportunity, and I'll see you all
Cheers,
shortly.
girls.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Cheers.